There are 7 NBA championship banners that hang in Texas, and 4 are right here in San Antonio. But if Birdman, the local Brazos Valley kid, has his way, the Spurs won't be getting number 5. And after suffering a loss to the Astros Saturday, there was just a bit more pressure on Texas to leave their fans happy before hitting the road. But it's more than just adrenaline that'll help you win in this game. It's also about teamwork, like any other sport. Well, it seems like even Olympic gymnasts don't flip as much as Dwight Howard does. But it's really no different than facing any other challenge in life. It only requires getting in and taking that first leap. Coach Lee Fedora and company were out to answer that question last night at Merrill Green Stadium down in Bryan. Well, if there's ever a time you're going to forget something you learned in school, it's usually going to happen over the summer. That's why my grandmother always had me do those math problems during summer visits. A&M says during the weekend of the Missouri game, they sold about 500 of these number 2 jerseys and about 300 of these t-shirts. But it's the motivations of Aries that keep them going. The Troy Trojans are knocking on State's door. And you can thank a healthy and sometimes bizarre sense of humor for their postseason run.
Most of the time, I don't have any idea what they're doing, which is we're probably better off that way. You know, I hear a lot about animals and all kinds of other stuff, so I probably really don't want to know too much about it.
It makes the game a lot more fun. It makes it easier to withstand a 7 or maybe even more, a longer game.
And perhaps the weirdest prank is what hangs from the ceiling of the Trojans' locker room. They haven't lost since it made an appearance.
Maybe around tournament time. I think that's might have when it gone up, or halfway through district somewhere in there.
I've had to tell them to take it down once. It started dripping some crazy juice out of it. I'm not sure what the deal is with the banana, but hey, it's working, so we leave it there.
A team of pranksters, jokers, and comedians might be a handful for some coaches, but for the staff at Troy, that's a winning combination.
We really know when to, stop it, when to cut loose, and when to not really take so many pranks and get focused on things.
Being funny while being focused. The Trojans hope that is a roadmap to state.
I think we all kind of owe it to ourselves here to get the thing done and get the job done and go win it.
In Troy, Texas, Lane Fobbs, ABC 40 Sports. It's been about 3 months since the tragedy in West Texas that left many killed or injured, and even more without a home. Through it all, a lot of people there, though, have remained big Texas Ranger fans, and today, the team is giving some of that love back. It will be West Night at the ballpark in Arlington, and this is the fire truck that will be donated to the city by Rangers designated hitter Lance Berkman before this evening's game with the Astros. Lance answered the bell after finding out the city needed to replace a truck that was destroyed in the explosion. The Rangers will also be hosting 5,000 West residents and the first responders at tonight's game, and they'll donate money to the relief efforts there as well. We'll have highlights from the game coming up tonight at 10. And some of the players you'll see tonight will be in New York later on this month for baseball's All-Star game. No Rangers or Astros were named starters, but the Rangers' presence will be felt on the American League roster. Pitcher Yu Darvish and his 2.78 ERA join Joe Blanton as pitchers, as well as pitching All-Stars for the team, while Nelson Cruz will be a backup outfielder. The Astros' lone All-Star, Jason Castro, who makes the team for the first time in his career. Well, it seems like even Olympic gymnasts don't flip as much as Dwight Howard does. It was reported that the free agent center had chosen the Rockets as his next team last night before saying, "Hold on, I'm 50-50 now. Just kidding, I will be going to Houston." The Rockets will indeed be Howard's next team as he leaves the Lakers and their $30 million on the table. LA could have offered him the most money, but Howard says he's done everything in his career but win a championship. And he feels with the Rockets' young roster and big man Hakeem Olajuwon as a tutor give him the best opportunity to reach that goal. Howard averaged 17 points and 12 rebounds last year, and at age 27 is currently the oldest player on Houston's roster. Meanwhile, across the Atlantic, Wimbledon held its women's singles championship this morning around 8 a.m. our time. Marion Bartoli versus Sabine Lisicki for the title. Pretty one-sided match for the most part. Bartoli comes out strong, wins the first set 6-1 and the second set 6-4 to win her first ever Grand Slam. By the way, this is the first time in the history of the women's tournament at Wimbledon that the singles winner did not have to face a top 10 seeded opponent on her way to the trophy. And finally tonight, what would our Sportscast be without a mention of Robert Griffin III's wedding, right? The former Baylor Bear and current Washington Redskin married his fiancée Rebecca Litticoat today in Denver. No word yet on how this will affect his 2013 campaign in Washington. Hey, Adam, 3 Rangers on the All-Star roster. Got to be feeling pretty good, right?
Yeah, it's nice. I wonder if Adrian Beltre should be on there. I think he's hitting 300, but thanks very much, Lane Fobbs.
Birdman, Birdman!
He has a catchphrase all his own, and he's helping the Miami Heat to the NBA Finals. But through it all, Chris Birdman Anderson still calls the Brazos Valley home, growing up in nearby Iola, Texas.
Being in all athletics, every sport out there, you know, obviously basketball was the main one and really worked out for me.
Rob Stewart was Birdman's coach at Iola. He may coach at Oak Ridge High School in Conroe now, but he'll never forget the first time he met Anderson as a freshman during an open summer gym.
I mean, he was getting there and blocking shots, and he was getting rebounds. I go, hey, come here. What's your name? He goes, Chris Anderson. You're going to go to school in Iola? He goes, yeah. He turned around and walked away. I was like, yes.
Chris Anderson stays close to Iola and close to Coach Stewart. They communicate daily. Through a drug suspension in 2006 and being cut by the Denver Nuggets last season, Birdman can always count on his hometown coach for guidance.
It gives me insight on what I need to adjust to, or you know, what I need to improve on, or you know, what I'm doing wrong. You take any kind of criticism from your head coach that you know you grew up with.
Birdman's Iola family loves him, and so does his new one, the Miami Heat.
Just the way he's fit right in since he's been here, I mean, it's been great. He brings a lot of energy. His finishing around the rim is spectacular.
Defensive impact on the floor, you know, bringing us energy. That big truck that he drives kind of let us know, you know, he's from a small little country town, but, you know, he got a big city swag, so we're happy to have him.
No matter the style, the hopeful NBA champion will never forget his local roots.
Bryan College Station, Anderson, Navasota, Normandy, North Zolch. Being around that area, I wouldn't have traded for the world.
There are 7 NBA championship banners that hang in Texas, and 4 are right here in San Antonio. But if Birdman, the local Brazos Valley guy, has his way, the Spurs won't be getting number 5.